guys.
Yeah, it could be,
They
hey,
could
she got
actually
shot
be
by
happy.
electricity, but now she's Zeus, right?
Oh, but now she's Zeus.
Misaki liked Shiko, and Shiko liked Rei. In short, it was right out of a soap opera. No, I think it actually made me like you more. What? That was not what I was hoping for. That time again. It's that time again.
Yeah.
Are you excited?
I'm excited.
Yeah, dude. Oh my gosh, Lily is so great. Okay,
Yes.
I just cannot. She's adorable
Mhm.
and must be protected at all costs.
Right? She was so touched by Rei and what Rei had to say about lesbians.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. We had a lot of interesting conversation about that.
Mhm.
And we also got to see a bit of what's going on with Rei's past life,
Mhm.
which was very interesting in itself. She actually met a girl who she thought was drawing yaoi,
Uh-huh.
but she's not. She's creating Yuri!
Yeah.
And she's like based off the characters off of the girl that Rei likes and Rei. And it's like, oh, that's very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, we could talk about Cutie Pie Lily.
Mhm.
And she's really into Rei. Claire's just kind of like, you can't be. And it's like,
Mhm.
well, she is, right? It's just kind of how it goes.
Yeah, and it, like, Claire kind of egged her on by being like, oh, it's not like that. Yeah, and Lily's like, oh, there's a chance.
Yeah,
then."
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that. She's just so
Mhm.
precious.
Yeah.
We get some fun comments to read, it looks like, here.
Yep.
Okay, we have Michaela. Yay, Lily time. I love how
Mhm.
she's basically the same role for Claire as what Nadia had for Rei.
So true.
Proof that she needs to start taking her feelings seriously if she wants to keep Rei by her side.
Yes, that.
Miss Claire, do you love Rei? No, of course not. So you're saying there's a chance? Wait, no.
That.
Yeah, that.
So
Yeah, that.
much
Yeah,
that.
Zoe, yay, the next best girl has arrived. As soon as I met her, I loved her. And it's
Mhm.
amazing to see Claire.
Claire.
Oh, wait, no. Claire Lily ship going forward. I also love Lily's little tick. When it's not. Let's see here. Can you say.
Tourette's.
That's it. I can't with letter As. Clarifying that would be a spoiler, though. It certainly behaves like it. Plus, her stutter's adorable.
Oh.
Dude, Lily is precious, okay?
Mhm.
I've only known her for, like, one chapter, but, like, please hope nothing happens to her.
Yeah.
It's like that meme. I've only had this character for this long, but I'll fight anyone who comes. Or something else, but I'm not gonna say it.
Oh, okay.
Blue butterfly. Poor Lily.
Uh.
That ship has already sailed. Oh, come on, cruel. That's not nice at all. If only you'd met Rei sooner. Or rather, if only you'd met her when she was still Rei, then you might have had a chance.
REI.
Damn!
Mm.
Ouch! This chapter has so much content, it's crazy.
Mm.
First, a new beloved kid who is also a love rival.
A
Now,
love
backstory
rival.
for Rei's first love. And
Yeah.
we're just getting started.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Exciting.
I mean, I'm definitely excited. And we
Yeah.
got Ginger Cat. I found the person of my dreams. I will marry Rei. You can't marry someone of the same sex in this kingdom. In that case, we'll just be lovers.
Oh.
That won't do either, now will it? Are you jealous, Miss Claire? I am not jelly. Yeah, you are. You're showing all the signs. Yay, Cardinal Lily is here. Claire's nemesis. Such an interesting character. A support character that has a major impact in the story right to the end of the 5th book. We have a new triangle. Claire the bride, Rei the groom, and Lily their mistress. What more can I say? They have 2 hands. You know what? You and I are very similar. Because I was thinking that obviously when we got introduced to Nadia and Claire with Rei, I was like, it doesn't be this way. Claire has 2 hands.
Right.
It doesn't be this way. Rei has 2 hands.
Yeah.
It's interesting that we have a character called Lily and a Yuri. Thank you! I told Jenny that too. I was like, it's so interesting that we have a Lily and a Yuri. When the Japanese word for Yuri translates to mean Lily in English. Yeah, you can say this one again.
Ecclesiastical means.
Or of relating to church, especially an establishment, institution, or suitable for use in church. So, and
Ecclesiastical.
painting is likely to be a painting depicting something in their faith. Example, the Last Supper in Christianity. Okay, I got you. I got you. Oh, we got Michaela again. Who could have guessed that a girl in a Yuri story named Lilium was gay? Shocking. I know, it's so shocking.
Lilium.
I know, it's very, very shocking. Blue Butterfly says, it's just a shame she shares a name with that thing with Solace.
Huh?
I don't know what that means.
Huh?
I'm not sure. We got Logan King. I bought the first 2 books from Claire's point of view and listened to all 5 audiobooks from Ray's point of view. Dole Whip is planning something big, and Ray knows. Also, you'll be quite interested in The Curse, the Twins, and the Demon. Oh my. I added that last part. Let's see here. Okay.
Yeah, the oh my.
Yeah.
The oh my was all you.
Yeah, it was. And we got Zoe. Yay, the next Miss Girl's arrived. Oh, wait, I think I already, whatever. As soon as I met her, I loved her. It's amazing to see Claire, Claire, Ray, Lily ship go forward. I also love this little tick. I'm curious to see more about that as well. Yeah. And then we have Logan King saying, Claire and Nadia. Claire, Ray, Lily, and my Nadia. You know what, though? In all honesty, I do think Nadia would take an interest in Lily. She's an adorable girl. I mean, who really wouldn't take an interest? Even Ray said, but I must be loyal to Miss Claire. So, come on now. Lily's adorable, all right? I don't know what to tell you. She's just adorable.
I'm here for the square.
You're here for the square? Yeah, you just want Minaria to come back. Come on now.
I'm
excited.
Of course I want Minaria to come
I'm
back.
excited, though, that Lily's going to be with us for such a time. That's awesome. And I'm sorry, everybody. This chapter was supposed to be called You Secret. It was Lily's Secret, okay?
Oh, Lily's Secret.
I can't wait. Are you ready?
Yeah,
Are you ready? We're going to go ahead and read some more of this read some more of this wonderful book. Okay, let's see. The day after I visited Catano's house, I stayed home from school with the flu. I probably caught it from Catano. Even though I had a fever, I engrossed myself in my borrowed novels. When Catano had given me a series titled Between Prayer and Love, it was set in prestigious all-girls Catholic school, and the main character was a devout Christian student who had feelings for one of her upperclassmen. The book dealt with the struggle between her conservative faith and her queerness, and her gradual growth over time. Her platonic relationship with her favorite upperclassman was developed in a fascinating detail, as were her heartwarming friendships with other girls and the books had elaborate illustrations to boot. I was utterly captivated. The series had one character who was openly queer. Her name was Hijiri, and she was one of the main character's upperclassmen too. Hijiri was always there to validate the main character's feelings, explaining to her that the same-sex love wasn't a sin. The main character resisted at first, but she slowly came to accept herself. Reading her journey, I felt like my own feelings were being affirmed alongside hers.
That sounds a lot like Ray then speaking up when she was at the church.
Yeah.
Maybe that's where she got this, approach from.
I mean, I'm glad she's getting the courage, but I am fearful that if she confesses, I mean, I hope for good things, right? But Ray herself said that her first love wasn't great. So that. A few days later, I was in bed with a cool compress on my forehead, reading the book Catano had loaned to me from the upteen time. My fever was gone, but my father was a worrywart who insisted that I rest, so I had nothing else to do. Then the door opened unexpectedly. Ray, you have a visitor, said my mom. Mom, knock next time, I said. I did knock. You just didn't notice. Must have been too absorbed in my book. What should I do? Do you want me to do you want her to come up? She said her name is Catano. I was quiet.
Catano.
I assumed it was Misaki or Kosaki. Kosaki's the one that Ray likes, that's right. And to be honest, I was a little afraid of seeing Catano. There was something mysterious about her, but I really didn't want to thank her for the book. Just for a bit, I said. Okay. My mom said she's going back down. Soon after, someone knocked on the door 3 times. Come in. Oh, hello. You look better than I expected, Catano said, dropping her bag onto the floor. This is a pretty plain room, isn't it? Don't look at it. I already know. I didn't like feminine furnishings, at least not at that time. I like cute things, but I was so big and awkward that sounds like she's a pretty tall girl, that I never felt like they really suited me. Maybe I would get some more now. The novel was good, I said. Isn't it? What part did you like? We chatted for a while, discussing each of the characters and what we liked about them, and commenting on our favorite highlight scenes. It was the first time I'd ever talked this passionately about a book to anyone. I was surprised by how much I enjoyed it. It looks like you've treated it more than just your influenza, Catano said evenly. Yeah, maybe I can face my own sexuality now. Whoa. The series is still ongoing, so we didn't know what the main character would ultimately choose. Unlike her, I had never been strongly possessed of any particular faith, and so I had no intention of denying my own feelings. It's all thanks to you, Catano. I'm really grateful, I said. And call me Shiko. It's unfair if I'm the only one using your given name. You're right. Thank you, Shiko. You're welcome. In a way, it felt like Shiko was my Hijiri, like Hijiri did for the main character in Between Prayer and Love. Shiko showed me the path forward when I was struggling with my own queerness. Calling her by giving her name felt right. I was bursting with newfound confidence, sure that I would never lie to myself again. And yet, when I returned to school the next day, something was off.
Oh.
When I said hello to someone, they ignored me. The girls who I would normally hang out with shoved me out of their circle. At first, I thought it was just because I'd been absent for a while.
Oh.
But this was clearly something else. They were avoiding me. Hey, Kasaki, it's really rare to get the flu during the season, isn't it? Misaki said in a loud voice, looking in my direction. Yes. Kasaki sounded more uncomfortable, but she was looking my way. Hey, do they think that... Oh, I was wondering.
That the two of them kissed or something? Oh.
How suspicious. Misaki said, her voice dripping with venom. Then a boy joined in. Maybe they did something to transfer it? The entire classroom broke into laughter. The normalcy that I'd been so desperately trying to maintain was crumbling right before my eyes. No, I cried. I haven't done anything like that. What are you freaking out about, Ray? Who started talking about you? Oh, no. I felt like a mouse being toyed with a cat. Shiko said this would happen. I stammered. That you'd all get the wrong... Shiko? Are you calling that nerd by her first name now? Oh, you must really like her. No, that's not true. Then what? Why are you two such pals all of a sudden? I just got some advice from her. Advice about what? How to be good in bed? Whoa!
That escalated quickly.
Yo! Okay.
0 to 100
That's
in like a second, yeah.
Crude laughter sounded all around me in the classroom. I could feel my tears welling up in my eyes. And then... Let's see here. How can you be this stupid?
Oh.
What are you, some kind of monkey? A sharp, clever voice cut through the laughter. Katano stood up at her desk looking over at us.
Okay.
What is it, Katano? Something wrong? Misaki asked. You're being absurd. You're so pathetic you make me sick. How old do you think you are? Did your body grow up while your brains hit in kindergarten? Shiko pulled no punches. Misaki was speechless, caught off guard by such ferocity from someone who's normally so meek. Shiko seized the opportunity to push harder. Anyway, Ray is someone she likes. It's not me. And if you're really her friend, you'd know that. What would you know about it? Oh, whatever. Just stop trying to drag me into your little kindergarten game. I'm not going to stoop to your level. You? It looked like Misaki and Shiko might come to blows at any moment. Will you stop this? I hate this! Kasaki cried. Misaki, I hate it when anyone in our class fights. And I hate it more when you fight with someone. She burst into tears, rendering everyone in the classroom silent. Misaki and Shiko, every other student in the classroom, looked at Kasaki in amazement. Fine. Come on, stop crying. Sorry, everyone. Misaki clicked her tongue and hugged Kusaki. The boys who joined in teasing also dispersed in groups of 2 or 3. Realizing that things had settled down, at least for the moment, I breathed a sigh of relief. Shiko had already returned to her own seat and was reading a book. She sure could switch gears fast, but then, I wondered if this is the end of my peaceful days. Just as I was expected, I was snubbed by Misaki's group from the next day forward. Even though I had feared being alone so much now that it actually happened, it wasn't so bad. In fact, it was refreshing to not have to keep up a charade of superficial relationships. Okay, it made things hard when it came to pick partners for gym class or a school trip, but overall, my life was less complicated now. I started partnering with Shiko a lot during gym class. We weren't always the odd ones out in the exact same way, but we wound up together a lot. I used to go straight home after school, but now I started visiting her manga club and talking about manga with other members too. My relationship with Saki combo remained fraught. Misaki openly avoided me, but Kosaki and I occasionally studied in the library together. Even so, Kosaki was concerned about what Misaki thought, so she wouldn't speak to me out in the open anymore. The only contact we had was in the library. I allowed myself to admit that I enjoyed those monthly dates with the person I liked, even if I only thought of them that way. One other thing changed. I decided I wanted to create something, probably thanks to Shiko's influence, so I started writing fan fiction. Drawing really challenged me, but written word just worked for my brain. I found it relaxing. Despite my complete lack of skill, Shiko and her manga club buddies were huge nerds who had plenty of great manga, games, and anime to recommend. I read, watched, and played them all, then wrote fan fiction about the characters I liked. Yeah, I think it's good. It's pretty rough but really passionate. Yeah, it's got like this really fresh feel to it. You should watch the sentence structure a bit, though. I see. I was back at the manga club, and the members were reading my last work.
I love that.
This was back in the days before the Cool Japan campaign, and otaku interests were still niche rather than mainstream. Most people had the same scornful opinions of the fashionists that Misaki did, and I consider myself lucky to have found such kindred spirits, let alone people who would read my terrible first drafts and give me honest feedback. Hey Ray, have you read the latest Pray Lover? Ooh.
What is it called? Pray Lover?
Pray Love, rather.
Pray Love. Pray Love?
Yeah, Pray Love, yeah.
Okay.
That was the short nickname fans used for the series she'd loaned me. Not yet. I was gonna buy it on the way home. I see. You should prepare yourself. Something big happens.
Ooh.
What? Oh, I want to know!
That reminds me of, like, all of us. Like, you should prepare yourself, like, people in the comments warning us of what we're about to watch.
Yeah, that.
Have you read this yet? Prepare yourself.
You must prepare yourself, for anything could happen.
Right.
I was looking forward to reading it, but Shiko's expression was dark.
Oh.
Is it bad?
Oh, no.
I won't spoil it for you. Just read it. Ugh.
See, it's us, you all. It's us.
I brought the new volume of Prayer of Love on the way home and read it right away. I soon found out why Shiko had worn such disappointment expression.
Oh no.
The upperclassman who the main character was in love with was named Shoko. She was well-bred lady born to an old family and went back to the Muromachi period. She was willful and eccentric, but very likable. Easily the most, let's see here, popular character in the series. The last volume ended with the heroine confessing her feelings for Shoko, and we'd all been waiting to find out what happened next. But tragedy struck in this new volume, and Shoko was hit by a car on her way to meet the heroine parked at night.
Oh,
Why is it always lesbians and getting hit by cars or in car accidents? It's just like a thing.
Well, if you think about it too, and I would think that with the depth of thought that was put into this story, that they would take into account the fact that, especially years ago, it was more that way than it is now.
That's true.
It was much more common for Yuri stories to end in tragedy.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
But by a cow of all things, could you like be a little interesting? Maybe it's carriage, you know? I don't know.
A carriage.
Something else. You know, heck, I just like, okay.
Lightning,
you know, or just happy, right?
Yeah,
If
or
it
they
has-
could.
If it has to be like
Could be
devastating.
a twist of surprise.
Yeah, it could be.
They
Hey,
could
she got
actually
shot
be
by
happy.
electricity, but now she's Zeus, right?
Oh, but now she's Zeus. I like that plan.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay, go ahead.
In the park at night. It's always at night too, okay?
Oh.
The scene where the main character found Shoko's body was so heart-tending that I cried.
No.
A testament to the author's skill. The book ended with Hijiri holding the main character as she grieved.
Oh.
I wonder if this means she's going to end up with Hijiri? I wonder if that means she's going to end up with Katano? I'm starting to wonder. Like, well, I don't know.
If it were you all warning us, you would have told us ahead of time, get 100 tissues. I know you all would have had our backs.
Well, this is, yeah, we'll have
She
to see.
should have told her.
Much as the book had moved me, I wasn't a fan of this new twist in the tale. I didn't know what to do with that gloom that consumed me. The Ray of the past would have had no way to express her frustration, but luckily, I had the perfect hobby now. I could write fanfiction.
That's what
Shoko lived!
Oh, she lives!
Writing an
Yes.
alternative version of canon events was a common practice in fanfiction.
I love it.
It requires a love and understanding of the original material, but
Yes.
provided the perfect meeting point between your hobby and your own desires. If I were the author, this is what I would write, I said, and I stayed at my computer late into the night, completely absorbed in the version of the story I retold.
Love that.
You really
Curious-
did it.
Oh, I
Sorry,
was gonna say curious, for you all, how many of you write fan fiction? I know you've written fan fiction, KB. I've written fan fiction, but yeah, I'm curious.
My thing
for-
with fan fiction is I start to write it, and then I'm like, I want to draw it.
Oh.
So then I kind of have like, I'm gonna go draw it, and I
Yeah.
may start writing it more, or I might not. I try to like keep things like one shots because honestly, it's like, you know. But sometimes, man, it's like, okay, I'm gonna like make this a comic now.
Right.
You really did it. I think your story works super well, Ray. I think I like the original better, but yours made me cry a little too. The next manga club meeting read my fan fiction and gave me their thoughts. Everyone had read the latest book by now. I wonder if Shiko's gonna like it though. I guess we're gonna find out. Everyone had read the latest book by now and had been shocked by it, so they all had something to say. What did you think of it, Shiko? I was grateful to hear their thoughts, but I want to hear Shiko's opinion most of all. I like both parts, but I think I prefer the original too. I see. I'm sorry it's not that I dislike yours. Yeah, I know. Thanks for reading it. I was just grateful that she read it and gave me her honest opinion. Shiko, do you ship the heroine with Hijiri? Yeah, that's why I'm not upset by what happened.
She has another ship.
Listen, okay? If something happens, like to a character that's gonna end up with shit that you don't want, it's kind of a good thing. Because it maybe, listen, I know.
It sounds bad, but
it
I
sounds
get
bad.
what you're saying.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be that the person was deterred in another way.
Or maybe the person just moved to a faraway planet.
Yes,
and
they were called away.
And they were called away forever.
Yes.
And it sealed the connection between Earth.
There you go.
And now the person that was pining for this other person can now be with that person.
Yes,
and everyone can rejoice.
Yeah.
There you go. Let's see. That's why I'm not upset by what happened in the latest volume. You were rooting for her to end up with Shoko, right? Yeah. I said slumping my shoulder to my disappointment. I'm sorry. She gave me a sympathetic pat on the shoulder. I don't like what happens in the latest book, but it helped me realize something, I said. I see, so you're going to do it? Yeah, I want to tell Kosaki I like her. She wants to tell Kosaki she likes her.
How do we think this is gonna go?
Masaki's gonna be like, absolutely not. That's disgusting. You can't like Kosaki.
Okay, yeah, I don't think it's gonna go well for her.
Yeah. In my fanfic, the heroine told Shoko her true feelings earlier than she did in the canon, which altered the course of the events so Shoko never had her accident. It wasn't a particularly inventive change, but I wasn't all that good at writing yet. I still poured my entire soul into the fic, trying to get across the message that you should express your love before it's too late. You never know how much time you have left with someone you love. The latest prayer love had taught me that. What do you think's gonna happen? Are you thinking?
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna go well.
No, this is Rei. And unfortunately, she did say multiple times she doesn't have luck in this and stuff. Okay. I didn't think Kosaki would die anytime soon, of course. One of us might transfer schools. We might go our separate ways after we graduate. She might even start seeing someone else. I need to tell her I felt, so I wouldn't end up like the main character in Prayer Love. It's about time. You're really gonna do it? Good luck. The manga club members, she told the manga club members. She tells the manga club members everything. Right. The manga club members encouraged me. I had already confided in them about my sexual orientation, and they all accepted me, which was another thing about contributing to my recent happiness. When are you gonna do it? Maybe tomorrow? We're staying after school to work on the library. It's gonna be a library confession. I see. Library. You can do this, Rei, Shiko said.
I think that's not the best place, but I mean, I guess that's when they're
together.
Oh,
I called it!
Oh, what does it say? What does it say?
If I paid more attention to her face, I would have seen that she wasn't happy with my decision at all, but I didn't realize that until much later. I figured as much. I'm like, come on, the girl draws a girl that looks like you, Rei. She can't read the room, though. Yeah, I know, that.
But she drew her with the girl she likes, though.
Yeah, but that doesn't necessarily... But I was already thinking that.
But she knows that Rei is also interested in girls. So...
It seems like Shiko is, too.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Okay.
I like you, Kosaki.
Oh.
Would you go out with me? What? We're in the library after school. I chose a moment when we were alone to finally tell Kosaki. Damn, she told her really quickly.
Yeah.
And I liked her. I couldn't think of anything, but at the same time, tired old lines, so I just came out with it. Maybe I actually didn't have any talent with words. Kosaki looked at first like she couldn't understand. Then she absorbed what I was saying. Her face grew troubled. Huh? You like me? You mean not as a friend? Yeah,
oh, no.
In a romantic way. So it's true you like girls? I don't know if I only like girls, but I like you. I couldn't back down now. Don't you have fun when you're with me? I'm not saying I don't. Do you hate me? No, I don't hate you, but don't you think we're on the same wavelength?
Don't hate you, but...
Maybe, but... Kosaki wasn't giving me the answer I was looking for, and I was getting flustered. That was why what she had said next made me happy. I think I need some time. Don't have something happen to her! I swear to God! If something happens to her, I'm gonna be ticked. I think I need some time. Do I have to answer right now? Not at all. I much prefer you take your time rather than say no right now.
No.
Please think about it. Yeah, thank you. You know, it's never good in a Yuri or a GL when the girl has to take some time. Okay? Especially in this time. We smiled at each other. Were you surprised, I asked? How could I not be? I mean, I thought if you were going to say you liked a girl, it would surely be Katano. Shiko? Aren't you guys super close now? I guess so, I said. I didn't have any romantic feelings for Shiko, though. Did you know that Katano actually is Miss Misaki's childhood friend? That's not surprising at all either, Kosaki asked. What, really? Yeah, I guess it's pretty complicated.
Maybe that's why she's that way.
What is? It's not really my story to tell. I bet Katano would tell you if you asked her. Honestly, I didn't want to know that badly. Rei. Anyway, I said, it's closing time. Let's close the library. Oh, you're right, Rei. Can you flip the sign on the door? On it. I felt relief as I walked home that night. I confessed. And then Kosaki and I just talked like we always did. It hadn't been awkward at all. I even thought maybe I had a chance. I was wrong. Dead wrong. Look, why you gotta do this?
No.
You gotta prepare us. I get that. So, thoughts are... Misaki finds out, and Puffet hits the fan, and everywhere. Something happens to Kosaki, or, you know, Kosaki's just gonna be like, Rei told me she'd, I hope she's not like a mini Misaki. A lot of ways this could go.
I don't even want to guess, I just want to know.
Good morning, I said as usual, entered the class the next day.
Oh no.
Not a single person replied. In retrospect, I should have realized it then, but I was a fool in love, fresh off high school, professing that love. I looked quizzically around the class, headed to my seat.
No.
Then I saw the graffiti on my desk. What? What is this? Words were scrolled over my desk. In a permanent ink, one phrase came up again and again. Ohashi Rei is a lesbian. Oh no!
I thought it was gonna be a slur or something. That's not as bad as I thought.
No, it's not. My stomach dropped. I looked around frantically for Kosaki, and I found her sitting next to Misaki, who was eyeing me and laughing viciously. That was when I understood. Kosaki, you couldn't do this! Kosaki had told Misaki. That's what I was afraid of.
I thought she would tell her for sure.
Of course she'd want to consult someone about something as big as another girl saying she liked her. And of course the first person she'd go would be Misaki. And of course this was how Misaki would respond. This wasn't Kosaki's fault. I mean, she was partially to blame, but in the end, the fault was mine. I understood now. Reality didn't tie things up nearly as fanfiction did. Friendship couldn't always be trusted. Queer love wouldn't always be understood or accepted. I don't remember exactly what happened next. Ray, are you alright? The next thing I remember was Shiko, with the worried look on her face. School had already ended for the day, and I was sitting at my desk lit by the evening sun. At some point, the graffiti had disappeared. I later learned that Shiko spoke to the teacher and asked him to get it cleaned up. Shiko. It's horribly unbelievable. Shiko was furious for me, denounced the things that had been done to me as unfair, and defended me from every angle. Thank you, Shiko. You don't need to thank me, Shiko said, her eyes moist. I know exactly what was coming. Hey, Ray, would you consider me instead of Uchiyama? No! Why does this hurt so much? Oh, man! Uchiyama was Kosaki's last name. I knew that much, but I didn't really understand what Shiko was saying. I like you, Ray.
Oh, there it is.
Shiko said more simply.
There it is.
I must have had a confused look on my face. Me? Yeah. Shiko nodded and hugged me. If this had been a novel, maybe I would have come to love Shiko at that point. Instead, my emotions had frozen over like ice. I didn't feel anything. No, that's not true. The first thought crossed my mind was that this was the reason Shiko first spoke to me, and that this was why she worked to separate me from Misaki and Kosaki.
Oh.
I thrusted her away. Ray, I'm sorry, was all I could say before I ran. I was at my limit. I didn't want to think or do anything else. I just wanted to get away from there. When I got home, I skipped dinner, shut myself in my room, and cried and cried. I thought the world was full of nothing but hurt. After that, I didn't go back to school for a long time. My parents were worried, but I was afraid they would shun me, like my classmates did.
No.
I couldn't bring myself to tell them I was queer, and therefore I couldn't tell them about my bullying, if you could call it that. That kept me out of school. It was about a month after I stopped going to school that I finally opened up to my parents. I see. My mom looked surprised at first, but it only took her a moment to recover and give me a hug. I may not be able to understand everything about you, but I'm always on your side. I'd never forgotten what it was like to hear her say those words. I might never have recovered if not for that moment. My father was silent, as there were a complicated look on his face. But a few days later, he took me to a support group for queer people and their families. I knew then that he was trying really hard to understand me, and that made me happier than anything. Thanks to the support of my parents, I was able to go back to school for 2 months. Listening to the stories of the other queer people set me free. I knew I was lucky compared to most. Even so, the way my first love had ended always stayed with me. I told this entire story to Claire and Lily, altering to or excluding details when necessary to conceal it happened in the past life. Claire's reaction was immediate. That's horrible. I'm furious to hear it. Ray, tell me, where are these people? I'm going to set them on fire!
Okay, Claire.
Yes.
A little protective.
I'll help Miss Claire. Lily volunteered!
Of course she did.
Okay, that was a bit extreme. It's okay, I said. I didn't know it then, but Misaki's home life was really tough at that time. She was going through a bad patch. We actually became friends again after we graduated. We were even formed our own cryptic club. Cryptic club. Yeah, we went hunting for Shukinoko. I'm sorry, forget it. Some Japanese folklore was just never going to translate. Not the topic at hand. Anyway, there's a lot going on in our lives back then. It sounds to me like Misaki person is just evil.
I'm curious if anyone who's watching knows what that is, because I don't know what that is.
We can Google it, but I don't know.
We can.
Claire said, still furious. It's more complicated than that, I see, trying to calm her down. What do you mean? Lily asked. Besides her problems at home, Misaki actually likes Shiko! Not Kosaki! Misaki! I'm not surprised again. There's a lot of things I'm kind of like, yeah, that tracks. Because, you know, people that generally act like that for reasons, and some are because they like certain somebodies. But she couldn't accept that about herself. Really? Yes, the reason she banished me from her group was because she thought I would steal Shiko from her. Whoa, so it was a love triangle? Lily moaned. No, a love square. What do you mean? Kasaki like Misaki!
So Kosaki like Misaki. Misaki like Shiko is her name.
And Rei liked Kosaki.
And Shiko
likes
Rei.
Rei.
So it is a love square. Wow.
That's so complicated.
Yeah.
Rei like Kosaki. Kosaki like Misaki. Rei, that's right. Misaki liked Shiko, and Shiko liked Rei. In short, it was right out of a soap opera. I borrowed a pen and paper to draw the love square for my companions. What an absolute mess, Claire said. Yes, Lily agreed. Well, we were all very young. You were still in your mid-teens. I was so young. Not was. Use present tense. Oops, I'd fallen down from the nostalgia hall. Anyway, all three of them eventually made up. Finding out about Kasaki's true feelings was the most interesting part. We used to think she was our little angel, but really, she was pretty devilish. Okay, then. I had a feeling, Claire said. She sounds like the kind of person who thinks her adorable features entitled to get away with anything. Miss Claire, you're exactly right. Everything Kosaki sort of did was calculated. Her bashful smile, her mild demeanor, wanting everyone to get along, she did it on purpose. Even the part where she got us to treat her like a darling pet. Everyone underestimated her. Once she had someone eating out of the palm of her hand, she'd use them as she pleased.
What do you think about that?
That's kind of interesting, but it's actually like Chad. Again, that checks, right? Because you have like certain girls in anime, whatever, and they're just like these really sweet, innocent, kawaii girls. But then they're just really devious, and you're like,
but they have their plans.
Yes.
Yeah.
In the end, Kosaki and Misaki got together. Oh, and it was Ko and me, not me and Ko. What in the world are you talking about? Every couple has an order their names must be in. I stopped myself. I was letting my nerd show. That story of my first love, I told you, it was boring. It wasn't boring, Claire said. Yes, it was very informative, Lily added. Oh, really? In truth, the incident with the love square had laid all the foundation for the person I became. I only got more geekier from there, and I started to make impulse rushes at people I liked. But that had been during my later years at university, so I couldn't tell those two about it.
Okay.
You had a time of it, Claire said. No, not really. And I can afford to laugh about it now. What do you think, Miss Lily? Was it disappointing? No, I think it actually made me like you more. What? That was not what I was hoping for. That point is, the first loves really work out. It's even harder for queer people. That's why you must prepare yourself for rejection. Rejection? Yes, and that's why I can endure Claire rejecting me all the time. No, that only happens because you're too brazen, Claire stammered. Miss Claire's first love was Minaria, right? No, sister was just so incredible. I misunderstood. Oh, that's such BS, and I don't believe that for a minute.
She was so incredible that she misunderstood. All right.
How did we get here anyway? What are we talking about to start with? The issue of poverty. Claire's eyes glazed over. It's okay. I go off on a tangent sometimes too, Lily comforted us when Claire and I tried to pull ourselves together. But go back to where you were just saying, Ray. Ideals don't always line up with reality, do they? What do you mean? The church has many ideals that we would like to see made reality, but politics get in the way. Lily said, suddenly sounding like a middle-aged lady. I believe the church is coming to the end of its ability to work with politicians. But we can't give up our ideals, Claire said. If we do that, the people lose out. Then chase those ideals, I urge. Work to make them reality. Ray, you're not alone, Miss Claire. Oh, you're not alone, Miss Claire. I'm not much help, but I'm here for you. Thank you. Claire and I looked at each other, sharing a moment of connection, but then, if you're going to make out, get a room, you... What?
Pustules?
Pustules?
I think.
We looked at Lily. Oh, I really didn't do that on purpose. Please believe me. I believe you. Honestly, her involuntary swearing was enchanting. Oh, Ray! Ray, you call her enchanting? I mean, Lily, pretty great. Thank you so much for your hospitality, Cardinal Lily. Please let us know if there's anything we can do in return, Claire said. It's my pleasure to help you learn about the church, Miss Claire. What is your biggest challenge right now, Miss Lily? I inquired casually. Challenge? Yes, you've helped us a lot, so we'd like to return the favor. That makes me so happy to hear. Don't start making out with her, Claire muttered. Well, Lily said, I'm researching something I could use your help with. It's called the Crosswise Curse. Someone, I think it was Blue Butterfly, mentioned a curse. Oh, here we go. Oh, that's the one that affects someone's gender, right? Supposedly, curses and such didn't exist in Japan, and this one in particular has some dubious implications outside of its fictional status in the game. The curse made a person appear as a gender other than their true one. Revolution used it for a comic leverage. This frankly troubled me a bit given some of my personal experiences, but more on that later. In any case, the topic of cross-dressing was so forth interested in game developers and players alike as it might be obvious from the cross-dressing cafe we constructed at the Foundation Day Festival, where the princess took on the roles of beautiful maids. I have to admit, the special illustrations
and the butlers
from the event were pretty amazing.
The
My
girl
heart still
butlers.
fluttered when I thought how Claire dressed a tuxedo for the cafe. So dashing.
Yes.
Oh, wouldn't the power of the church's relic, the tears of the moon, cancel out the curse, or at least dampen its effects? You know about the tears of the moon? Lily gasped. That's one of the church's greatest secrets. Oh, that was whatever. Now you sound like Claire today. Oh, I confess, I'd forgotten. The Tears of the Moon was a magical tool that absorbed the moonlight during the full moon. Prior to activation, it had the ability to negate a variety of magical effects similar to this buried at the Academy dueling grounds, except the Tears of the Moon's negation was permanent. The considerable power of this magical tool could rescue people from all sorts of terrible magical after effects, and therefore it was one of the most highly protected secrets of the spiritual church. It required 2 people, both at cardinal level or higher, to handle it, and otherwise it was kept in the vault where the church housed religious artifacts. In other words, bringing it up out of nowhere is a pretty big, huge oops on my part. Where did you hear about the Tears of the Moon? Lily pressed, Master, you told me!
Master,
At this point in time, only people I knew who were related to the church were Lily and you. That can't be. If Master, you knew a way to reverse the curse, then why would you— Aha! I was right!
Why would what?
I thought you was a girl, right?
What does the book say?
Well, Lily almost said she.
Oh.
So my theory was right. Lily put her hand over her mouth. Cardinal Lily, what did you just ask? Oh, no. Is Master you afflicted with the crosswire curse? Claire asked, joining me in startling Lily. Of course. So that was my theory, that you has been a girl. My other theory was magic might have transformed you, and it's a curse. Lily let out a sigh as if she'd given up. I will tell you, but only because it seems Ray may know a way to reverse this curse. Please, do not let what I'm about to say leave this room. If it gets out, your lives will be in danger. Understood. Got it. We were no doubt walking into true peril, but we nodded. Defeated, Lily started talking. The truth is... so you heard about Master Yu then? Oh, Misha knew. Of course, Misha would know.
Yeah. Well, Misha knew you as a kid. So if you had changed, then Misha would know about it.
I'm wondering how it happened.
Right.
When I returned to my dorm room that night, Misha was back. She stayed in Elucid longer than us, and her pure white skin was now a bit red. Apparently, she was the kind of fair that didn't tan, only burned. It's a common affliction among white people, but Misha's skin was especially fair. Yeah, she had that pretty fair skin. So she inevitably suffered. I immediately told Misha everything that happened at the academy in her absence. Lily had insisted we keep Yu's curse an absolute secret. But, well, Misha was involved, so I couldn't help revealing the truth to her. Or I thought that was what I was doing. You already knew about Master Yu?
Yeah,
I
that's
asked
not
after Misha
revealing.
confessed. Yes, when we were small, I did a great help to keep Yu's concealing the truth. I didn't know anything about that. Right, so the thing was, to put it simply, Yu in truth was a girl! I mean, she's a girl prince.
Yeah.
He was the only child of the Asural Bear. The current king and Queen Rishi, Rod and Thane, had been born into a different mother. In the Bear Kingdom, succession was determined based on order of birth, so Yu was third in line to inherit the throne. Even so, when Queen Rishi found out she was pregnant, she believed that one day her own child would rule the country. On October 10th, she gave birth to twins! One boy... Oh, okay, so now we have Misha telling us this. She gave birth to twins. One boy, one girl. Misha said quietly. She had soundproofed the walls of our room using her high-aptitude wind magic, and even so she spoke in a small voice so not to be overheard. As Lily had assured us, this was dark and jealousy-guarded secret in the kingdom. We could take no chance with eavesdroppers. But as you know, at the time, just after birth, is one of the great dangers for infants. The boy died almost immediately. Oh, no!
That's so sad. Aww.
With medicine in this world still mirrored in the Middle Ages, the infant mortality rate was high. Mortality, that. Healing magic was no cure-all either, so it couldn't always touch the illness and infection. In the days while Queen Rishi was away from the palace, in the church for her birth by the boy died. Upon losing her long-awaited boy, the one she believed would be her succeed to the throne, Queen Rishi fell into despair, which led to a grave mistake. Lady Rishi hired a certain individual to nurse the babe. In truth, the nursemaid was hired to inflict the curse. See, that's just... Oof.
So wait, and maybe you don't know, was this something that Yu's mom wanted?
It does seem to be.
Okay, that's what I was a little bit confused about.
That's why I'm like, oh.
Yes.
As a result, the baby princess was cursed and was perceived to be a prince. The babe was you. Does the king know of this? Indeed.
As a baby.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Indeed. Lady Rishi considered concealing the truth from the king, but she ultimately couldn't manage to do so. He rules this country, after all. So even so, it wasn't until after Yu was officially introduced to the public as the third prince that Queen Rishi revealed the truth of Yu's curse.
Wow.
For fear of losing face, the king resolved to treat Yu as a prince, and ever since Yu's gender status has been treated as a state secret. But isn't it true that the light of the full moon reveals the true self of those afflicted by their crosswise curse? I can't believe they managed to hide it for so long. The royal family has a great deal of power to hide that, which it doesn't wish others to know. The secret was only shared with those who had been vetted utmost care, and those who were deemed cooperative in their aim to conceal Master Yu's condition. Misha said, I was one of those people. She went on to explain, for generations, my family were aristocrats of the highest status. We maintained close ties with the royal family in my childhood. I was always told to keep an eye on Master Yu. In other words, you and Misha weren't just run-of-the-mill childhood friends. They were, in a sense, accomplices.
Wow.
But when our house fell from grace, that relationship fell with it. The only reason my family wasn't entirely stamped out was because we were allowed to merely lose our noble status and live as commoners, and that king took our debt as a form of hush money. Misha said, her expression never changing. In the meantime, His Majesty ordered the church to study the crossbow curse in secret. However, his aim is not to reverse the curse, but to solidify it. He wishes you to not only appear as a prince, but to be one.
Wow.
In short, they wanted to fulfill the queen's original goal. Was that even possible? Perhaps it was, but the magic in this world. When I asked Misha's expression finally changed, growing more and more distorted with distress. It was rare to see her thoughts so clearly on her face. I don't know if that's possible, she said. All I know is that Yu hates it. Everyone says she's a boy, but she's a girl. Growing up, she was eternally confused. There was a gap between us, between what you knew to be true and what everyone else saw. Wow. I knew something about this kind of an issue in person. Feels their gender doesn't match the other perception of them. In Japan, it's called gender dysphoria. You might call it a problem, a mismatch between one's heart and body, which can create all kinds of problems for a person's afflicted. Society can make people suffer for this in all kinds of ways, especially when they try to show their true selves in their daily lives. You always expressed envy of the dresses I wore, or the length of my hair. Once she would put on makeup in secret and asked me whether I thought she looked strange. Misha recalled with some bitterness, and no, she was lovely. On the day at the Academy Festival, when we were getting dressed for the calf, I thought you was having more fun than the rest of us, but I hadn't guessed all the layers of the underlying moment. You hadn't been delighted by any sense of absurdity. Rather, she'd been overjoyed to fulfill a desire that otherwise had to be hidden. I'd always thought you was cunning, and now I understand she had no choice but to be. You was cursed with a double life.
That makes sense thinking back to the game that they played.
Yeah. Ray, you said you can reverse the curse? Yes, in a way. How? The crossfire curse is, well, a curse. There's a magical tool the church keeps in its vaults that can negate curses.
What?
I'm not going to ask how you know that. I was glad Misha was good at reading delicate situations, although her main motive here was probably to avoid obstructing anything that might solve a problem for the person she loved. I grimaced. The only problem is the palace and the church both want you to be a prince, don't they?
Yikes.
Yes. Or I should say that's what the palace wants.
I was gonna say, this is very complicated.
Not the church? The church values women, you see.
She
She was right. I've touched on this before, but the spiritual church considered women to have a greater inheritance ties to mystic powers, and consequently tended to see them as more religiously important.
How interesting.
I know, right? Unlike Catholicism on Earth, women could hold high positions in the church as well. For example, Queen Rishi had been a cardinal before she ascended the throne, and of course there was Cardinal Lily. Misha, which do you agree with? My wish in this matter are utterly irrelevant. They are little. You like you, don't you? Who told you that? Misha wanted to deny it, but I didn't give up. No one had to tell me.
Right?
I just know I'm your friend. I think I'm your friend, Misha murmured, but at times I don't think I understand you at all. So tell me, what do you think? Misha seemed to understand that I wasn't going to let this go, and her voice went soft. I'm attracted to boys, so the part of me that would be happy were you to become one. But your desire in this matters are far more important than mine. I want you to live happily, free of pain, no matter what. Are you saying you like you for you? That seems melodramatic, but perhaps. Misha looked frustrated with herself. I figured she understood herself to be straight, but I suspected she had queer feelings. Those words that turn up in narratives now and again. I'm not attracted to gender, just people. I'm not sure they're the most realistic. People love to hear it or even say it, but I don't think it's always paints out the way in reality. But of course everyone's different. When it comes to what they say people like and how they become attracted, really not nearly as clear-cut as I've described it. In that case, I said, I appreciate your support as I do what I can to ensure you's recognized as a girl. Misha frowned.
I told you my opinion's
That's
irrelevant.
huge.
The palace would never permit you to live as a girl, especially not with Lady Rishi. Why not? Ray, I told you. Lady Rishi's dearest wish is that her own child ascend the throne. She wanted it so badly that she had her newborn infant cursed. This goes beyond mere stubborn admission. Misha was right. Even in the game, in Yu's route, Queen Rishi is considered it unthinkable for her son, or to be accurate, her daughter, to marry a commoner. She needed you to marry a woman suitable for a king, and she never accepted the main character in the end. In the midst of the confusion of a revolution, Yu spirited the main character away to elope. I grinned. Then I guess you'll have to elope, Misha. Now what are you talking about? Misha, if you want to marry you, are you prepared to elope? Well, of course not, Misha answered without hesitation. Great, now I look silly. No? Think, Ray. You and I were raised as nobles. We wouldn't stand a chance living a good, fulfilling life if we left it all to elope.
The next break is ours.
But you live as a commoner all this time. Yes, but only because of the palace's discreet support. Are you sure about that? In my opinion, Misha had a good head on her shoulders, and I was pretty sure she could have a great life no matter what she put her mind to. But that was the end of our conversation that day. It was time for bed. I played our talk in my mind again and again as I lay under the covers. I never realized you had such a dramatic backstory. So there were facts about this world that even Revolution mega fan like me didn't know?
Right?
Yu's gender troubles hadn't been mentioned in the fan disc, let alone character reference guide. Maybe someone had decided it wasn't appropriate subject matter for the game's target demographic, and so it had to be buried in the programming. When I take in the culture subject test, I've been confident I knew more about this world than the game developers, but now I knew I was mistaken. There could be dozens, even hundreds of bad endings or hidden settings I didn't know the first thing about. In any event, I need to find a way to reverse Yu's curse, and then maybe convince Misha to confess. After a great deal of mulling and reflecting, I found my answer. The only option is the magic of shock and awe.
Ooh, man. Okay, we're like almost getting halfway.
Yeah.
There was no pictures this time.
Oh.
So disappointing.
So, I called it. I said pretty early on, because again, I also called it in Sailor Moon with Haruka, because I was very convinced that...
Hold on, I don't know how well they can hear you.
Oh,
you're
that
facing
someone
back.
like Haruka couldn't possibly be a boy.
So you're saying you called it early on, because you
but
thought
also, like...
she didn't give off that
Prince
aura.
And just the way you would talk.
So when we were watching the anime and I saw the 3 princes, right away I was like, oh, Yu is the prettiest prince. And there were a lot of comments about that and the fact that I said that, and so that's when I started becoming suspicious. I'm like, why are they making such a big deal out of the fact that I said Yu is the prettiest prince?
Also, if you go to the culture festival, where you go to in the book or the anime, Yu is very comfortable in a maid outfit.
Yes, in the dress.
Very comfortable with the long hair.
Was it you who did the twirl? Okay, that's what I was wondering. I think
so I'm just like, okay. That being said, it's quite an interesting way to figure this out.
Yes.
So it's not like Haruka, where she was like keeping her identity, her gender a secret by just, perceiving a certain way. Yu literally has no choice.
Yeah.
Which that sucks.
And it's Yu's mom who
and it's her mom
made this decision.
Her mother. That is terrible. Like, it's sad that she lost her brother. Like, that's obviously.
That is sad.
But to go to extreme lengths to do something like this to your only kid, to let your kid not decide, it's like, bro, what is this? It's not acceptable. I don't like this at all. Now, that being said, obviously the king knows about this. Let's say that I'm pretty sure the curse is gonna get healed. What's gonna happen when they find out? If they find out Queen Arishi, couldn't she get in some serious trouble because of this?
Could be.
This is pretty bad. Also, I appreciate the church for being girl power. I like that.
Yeah.
So it's great that you have the palace side of things where it's like you has to say a man, or you have the church where it's like let you be the girl. Yeah. And apparently Yu wants to be a girl, as she should be. So I'm rooting for that side. Yeah. Very interesting that in the moonlight though she actually gets to turn back into a girl. So anyway, wow. Also, Ray's past. Wow. The love square. And like poor Shiko, I feel bad for her. I'm like but I don't really agree with Ray's mind of saying that she's just using her to get because she liked her to confess to her. I really think she really wanted to help Ray because she also knew that Ray liked Kosaki. But then of course once Kosaki was like not in the picture anymore, she's like, but what about me? Which do you see that in a lot of anime and stuff too? It's like, well, this person's not interested or not around. What about me? At least it wasn't like some kind of tragedy of like something terrible happening. But yeah, so the Saki or whatever they called themselves got together. Yes. Who'd have thunk it? That. But yeah, no, dude, this is so good.
Right?
Man, Queen Rishi is the worst. I cannot with her. Like, just don't do that, you know? So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that she
wants what she thinks is best, right? Again, what mother wants what's best. But at the end of the day, like, it's a lie, right? I wonder if Thane and Rod know.
And it was pushed on you.
It's pushed on you as well. And the thing is like, that's not fair. Yeah. You know, Yu is trying to live the best that she can, and now she's like, hey, listen, I really don't want this. I want a cure. And there is one! Does that mean they're gonna have to go break into the church and get the magical tool?
It may well mean
We're gonna have a church break-in?
I'm really interested to see where this story goes.
Actually, though...
The fact that Rei is looking to break this curse is huge.
It's also a really good indicator that Rei doesn't know everything and that she's not just in a game and she needs to stop thinking she's just in a game.
That part of it was very interesting to me, that last part that you read about the developers looking to hide something like this. I think that really hits close to home for a lot of those stories that are like queer coded and where they downplay relationships, or even like Haruka and Michiru where they never have an on-screen kiss. So it's just like so obvious that this is at the core of who the character is, but they decide it's not appropriate to show it, or that they don't want to give it that much focus, or whatever it is that they decide. But how surprising that Rei, who is this involved in this game, that she wouldn't know about this, that it was that hidden, that she, who has played the game so many times, has researched the game, and knows everything that a game player fan would know about this, doesn't know about Yu's secrets.
Well, here's the thing. Perhaps it's not in the game. We know Rei's not in a game anymore. It's very obvious. We already had the anomaly with that dark stranger who poisoned Thane, right? So that leads me to believe that maybe it was in the game, maybe it wasn't in the game. We don't know. But even so, like, now she's starting to think, hey, I didn't know this. How could I not have known this? Maybe she'll start to have, like, the gears circling and be like, hey, this is not, I wasn't just transported into a video game. This is actual life that I'm living right now. These aren't NPCs. These aren't game avatars, right? Which is why Claire's changing so much. Because if it was coded that way, unless it could get hacked somehow, there's absolutely no way Claire would be interested in Rei at all, right? That's just how it is. But yeah, but again, I don't know if they'll have a church break-in, because the church actually is for you being a girl. So perhaps Lily, she's so sweet. She wants to help, right? But I'm really curious to see what's gonna happen. I don't think it's gonna be so easy as the church is going to let them get this tool, relic, whatever, magical tool to train you back. I think there's going to be steps to get there, and there's gonna be pushback. But I am curious if Yu's brothers know the truth. That's what I want to know as well.
That's a good point. I didn't think about that.
I do think, though, at least Rod, he'd be totally okay with it. Because he's just that kind of guy. Thane, I don't know. He's just kind of like, whatever.
He's kind of indifferent.
He's
That's
really
what
indifferent.
I was thinking too. That I don't really see him.
The biggest obstacle
getting heated about
is
anything.
Queen Rishi, and the king, and they happen to be the rulers of our kingdom.
Yes.
Also, if Yu does get to be her true self, does she become a princess? Or is she gonna lose all her title?
And something that I was thinking about is the fact that Minaria is going to fight for the throne. Right? So Minaria, as a princess who is quite princely, is going to fight for the throne.
She certainly
I understand there are two separate kingdoms here. But if she were to prove that she could be the ruler, then would it be opened up for another princess to be a ruler of another kingdom? I'm wondering if
it would be interesting.
These fights for the throne are tied together.
Another thing, though, what does Yu want besides to be herself? Does she want to even be an heir to this throne, or does she want to have a simpler life with Misha? Misha needs to get on board. Come on, elope. You got this, girl.
Wow, this was a really intriguing part of the story.
Yes!
And I've been looking forward to finding out what is going on with you for a while
now.
We
now know.
Yes.
We now know.
Yes.
Yeah!
excited to find
I
out
can't
more.
wait. We're halfway through, and I'm just like, wow, it's amazing.
Yes.
Yeah, I cannot wait for more. It's so good. It is so good.
Is it a Game of Thrones? Girls of Thrones?
Girls of Thrones.
Love it.
Yes.
I'm really interested too to see how you and Misha's relationship progresses.
Yeah, yeah, I am as well.
Yep.
For sure. I'm pretty sure, regardless, you likes Misha.
Yes,
it
I
seems
think they both like
very-
each other.
yeah,
It's
no
pretty
matter
clear.
what.
Yes. So we'll
Aw.
have to see where the story goes from here.
Yeah.
Alright, thanks y'all so much for hanging out with us while we not watch, read,
wish.
or are read to. Yeah, I wish that the anime would continue. I read this part of the light novel, I'm in Love with a Villainess. If you've enjoyed hanging out with us here and would like to chat in with us live, you can join our YouTube channel membership where we have monthly live streams. Look forward to connecting with you again soon, and we will be sending so much love. Till next time.
Laters.